Cooler weather is around the corner, but while warm weather is still here, take advantage of our $49 home comfort checkup. Stay comfortable year-round with our services at Premier Heating and Air. And rebates are starting at $1,500 with the purchase of a new heating and air system and your choice of a free gift from a $100 Visa gift card, Wi-Fi thermostat, or UV light. Experience the Premier difference today and stay comfortable year-round with our services. Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company. Log on to premierishere.com.
Welcome to Chamber Talk. I'm so glad to have my good friend Will Curry with me today. Will, thank you. I know you are, I talk to a lot of busy people. I'm a busy person. You are a busy man. But you're busy doing good things. And I hear your name in so many different places, and they say, well, who can we get to help here? Or who can we? And it's Will. Will. So thank you for that, Will. I would like for us just to start out, there may be, I can't imagine, but there could be somebody watching the show and they say, well, I'm not sure who that is that he's interviewing today. So tell us a little bit about Will Curry and Curry & Companies.
Sure. Well, thank you, Heath. Thank you for having me here. And it's great to be part of a community that has a lot of stuff going on and ability to get involved in a lot of things. So if anybody out there does want to get involved, contact Heath, contact anybody in the community, and we can certainly get you plugged in. But about our company and our family, so the Curry Companies started, and my name is Will Curry, president of Curry Companies. Our firm started in 1902 from my great-grandfather. He started out, took out on his own in an insurance capacity and started an insurance business, actually in a building downtown. And we have a advertisement where he started in the Henry building, which as things come full circle, we've recently renovated that building and then turned it back into a commercial rental space for entrepreneurs and people starting new businesses. But he saw a need in insuring properties, and that's where it started out. Over the years, it grew into investments and holdings and buying properties, which really led to our property management business being formed out of a need. There was a need to manage our properties, to get them filled, to be a good steward of those properties. And then it grew into real estate sales, development, subdivision development, small commercial shopping centers. We've done historic tax credit renovations downtown. We're currently building an apartment complex and continuing that in Woodlawn West Apartments in Dublin, and various other projects that we've started and done. So by and large, we started out an insurance company and turned into a property management and sales company.
I mean, it's just amazing to me. I remember when I came to Lawrence County the first time I came here and I rode around and I thought, and I didn't, I don't know who Curry is, but gee, they must own this place. Was it your grandfather or who? How was all that property acquired to begin with?
It was my grandfather and great uncle. So Thomas Curry is probably who a lot of folks and folks who have been around a long time knew Thomas. He was always around. He was always at the courthouse steps, seeing what properties were available and purchasing and then renovating them and renting them. Our business has changed over the years. We have really invested and put a lot of emphasis on our properties in the past 5 to 7 years of bringing them up. We've sold a lot of properties, we've reinvested in a lot of properties, we've purchased other properties, we've constructed other properties, but really trying to raise the level of service that we provide to our tenants, provide a better quality of living in the properties that we do continue to manage and serve. So, but that doesn't happen overnight. A lot of the properties that we had were passed down. So we had owned them 70, 80 years. And you think about the lifestyle and life cycle of a home on that time frame, there are many things that can go wrong, from just maintenance and repair to roof leaks to water line bust and that sort of thing. So it was really retooling our property management division and seeing which properties we wanted to keep, which properties we wanted to invest in, and what we wanted to associate our name.
Fantastic, and we're gonna take a break in just a minute here, but I do want to mention to you when I came here, and you may know this, you may not, lots of wonderful people here. Did a previous show with Michelle Baird over at Shell, and realtors here, great, wonderful, a great team. You guys all work together a lot. People reached out to me before I even came to Dublin and Lawrence County, but your dad actually was the first person that I actually met with when I came here, and he rode me around and showed me properties. And I remember even, it was Thanksgiving Day, and my wife and I had drove up and or drove down to Dublin, and I just gave him a call and said, hey, just can you tell me some places? And he said, you stay right where you are and I'll come get you and take you around. And so I really, really never forgot that, appreciate that. And when we come back from this break, I want to talk about your dad for just a minute, and then I want to know at what point in time, I know a little bit of your story, when did Will say, this is it, this is what I want to do? Because I know you started out a little bit on a different track.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that. Hope you'll stay with us. We'll be back in just a minute.
Premium off-roading is better when you can take the whole crew. Powered by a 4-cylinder engine, we're extending peak premium performance to everyone. A premium automotive-inspired cab provides plenty of space for the whole crew. Good times are better with good company. Good company meets its peak with Ridge Crew and Ridge XR Crew.
Summertime is the time to ride. Come into Shamrock Honda Kawasaki CF Moto and see our full lineup of Kawasaki side-by-sides.
Since we were founded, the Houston Clinic has sought to provide the most advanced orthopedic services available to men, women, and children of all ages and all walks of life. And today, Dr. Gay and Dr. Richter continue the tradition of service in the Lawrence County communities. From our sports teams through every facet of this community, the Houston Clinic is not only proud to serve you, we deem it an honor. The Houston Clinic, 100 Medical Drive, Suite 400 in Dublin.
Welcome back to the show again. Will, thank you for taking time out today. I know you got a busy schedule today. I think you might get to go hit a golf ball in a little while. But we were talking about your dad, and your dad, like I said, went out of his way, went above and beyond to help me when we got here to get us into a house. We actually, I don't know if you know any of that story. We had looked at a house, there were some issues with that house, and lo and behold, anyway, it all worked out. It's God's plan. We found the perfect house and perfect place, and we've been there for almost 10 years now. But yeah, tell me a little bit about working with your dad and about after you graduated college and what you were doing and how you're now the president and running the company.
Sure. And I'll back that story up just a little bit. So when I was 11, 12, 13 years old, in the summers after school, my dad would have me working in the business. So in the property management division, I was working with the clean out crews on after, somebody moved out of a house, of changing carpets, painting, pulling new wires in attics, cutting the grass. And it was actually the summer that our painter had me painting baseboards that I came home and I talked to my dad and I said, I'm going to study real hard because I don't think painter is in my future. I don't have the time, the patience, or the steady hand to paint. But that was kind of the turning point there.
Let me interject really, really quick though. How old were you?
11, 12, 13 years old.
Just for our viewers today. Yeah, we were the same, but we wanted to work, and you wanted to earn your own income and make a living for yourself. So at that early age, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, it was a great learning experience too. So I started out. People ask me, when did you know you were going to be in the business? But I was one of the fortunate ones that got to grow up in the business and see the good, the bad, the ugly, where we were doing a really good job and where we weren't. But I went to the University of Georgia after high school, and my major was real estate and finance. I knew that I wanted to do real estate. I had no idea in what capacity. So after college, I was interviewing around, and I had it in my head that I wanted to be a commercial office broker in Atlanta. And this was right in the end of 2007 that I was graduating, so right before the Great Recession happened. So I was interviewing around, gotten a few offers for commercial real estate, and then found Racetrack Petroleum. Had an offer for them for their real estate acquisition team, and had some really good advice from one of my dad's friends who's also in real estate in Vidalia, Dent Temples, and he has a real estate company. And he started out on a commercial sale or commercial track, real estate track with Piggly Wiggly corporate. And he advised me, he said, go with Racetrack, learn how they do the business, learn what are the non-negotiables, and then you can decide what you want to do if you want to do anything else from there. So it started with really good advice from a family friend and mentor, and I had 5 years of an incredible experience working for Racetrack Petroleum in their real estate department, traveling the Southeast and putting deals together for new convenience store development. 3 years was spent in Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth, and 2 years was spent the west coast of Florida, basically from Gainesville down to Naples. Okay. Traveling a whole lot, working really hard, learning a ton. And then my dad called up, probably around my 4th year in Racetrack, and he said, hey, son, I need to know what to do. I need to know if you have any intentions to come back to the business, and if I need to continue progressing things forward in a growth mode, or if I need to start looking at exit strategies and what to do there. So after about a year of talking, considering, praying about it and really thinking where I wanted to be, I made the decision to come back home, and it's been one of the best. And Heath, just to kind of tell you, when I was working for Racetrack, the work was really engaging, really fun, really different, really new. But I knew my across the street neighbor and my next door neighbor. I wasn't involved in very much. I was living in Atlanta, and it was a whole lot of fun to go out and hang out with friends, but I wasn't involved civically. I didn't have any impact on the surrounding community, and that's one thing that was really missing. Yeah. So when I came back, I made the challenge of saying, hey, the first year I'm going to say yes to whatever comes up. And that was really how I got back involved in my community.
Yeah, and this community is great. Will, I'll tell you, I grew up an hour and a half from here, and I knew folks, but there was probably 1 or 2 people that I would ever say I could probably count on for the most part if I needed something or needed help or whatever. I've only been here 10 years, and I could give you a handful of folks. Just say, wow, these folks would step up and you can count on them. They'll be there for you. All right, so real estate. Real estate's changed. It's growing. It's expensive. There's demand, and you guys have a lot of things going on. Tell me about some of the recent successes, and tell me about some things maybe on the horizon.
Sure. Yeah, very fortunate that Dublin is growing. And it's not just growing in one segment or one sector. There's new homes being built. There's new industry coming in. There are new apartments that are being built over the city. And there's a lot of city projects that are going on to beautify the city. So I think there's a lot of positive growth that's happening. One of the most important tenets is, where do you put your people? So when you create jobs, how are you going to house them? Where are they going to live? And that's a multi-pronged strategy, from buying a house, which there are a lot of people who want to buy and it makes sense to buy. There's a lot that it doesn't make sense in the life stage that they're in, or future moves within a company. So a rental strategy is a really good one too. And one of our new projects is Woodlawn West Apartments. We started that in 2017, and it was a phased approach. Build a building, lease a building, build another building. And now we're in our 8th building that we're adding to the community. We've got 136 units currently on the ground, with the hope to get to 204 units in the next 5 to 7 years. So we are actively growing that community. It's a traditional apartment development that you would see in bigger cities like Warner Robins or Macon or Atlanta or Savannah. And we're very, very proud of it. We've got a great team of people that oversee that apartment complex and really make sure that it stays best in class. We also have single-family residential rentals. So if you have, kids and a family and need a little bit more extra room and your own space without a shared wall, we have options and available properties to lease for larger families as well. And then, duplexes and downtown living has been a big one, and we have a couple downtown lofts that are available. Those are tough to get, though.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, those are a lot harder to come by. So, well, do y'all do any new builds, residential type things in neighborhoods and all? Are you still doing that, or is that maybe not so much? How does that look?
Yeah, we are we're mainly on the land development side and the subdivision development side, but we are building between 8 and 10 homes a year, and those are just for sales, mostly not for rental.
What do those look like? Can you tell me, are those, I'm hearing and understanding that just an average, I guess, for a new build, even if you're looking at 3-4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, maybe 1,500-1,600 square foot, you're going to be real close to 300,000. It sounds like is maybe average. What does that look like?
Yeah, most of ours, it depends on the neighborhood and the amenities and the style of the home and the square footages, but we're anywhere between, the upper 200,000s to the low 400,000s in what we're building and what we're developing. There's some other builders that have come in and are able to deliver a little bit lower price point, and that's a great option for the community to have, and we certainly support that.
Sure. Will you do so much more than just residential? You guys do a lot of commercial, and I know you even, you guys track a lot of different things and supply a lot of data and different things for folks in the commercial side of things. Talk to me a little bit about your commercial work and some of the things you're doing. And you mentioned to me when you walked in this morning something that I was surprised even to know about one of your properties. So talk to me about the commercial side a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of small shopping centers that are mainly geared towards mom and pops that are wanting to start a new business, a new venture. So whether that's a tax service, an attorney's office, a bakery, a small restaurant, a coffee shop, we've got a lot of availability and options out there to be able to talk with new entrepreneurs about how to start their business and where to locate. But one of the properties and projects that we were discussing was the Henry Building. And back in 2019, we took that building that was completely vacant and did a historic tax credit renovation, turned it back into commercial space with retail and office on the first floor, a little co-working section on the first floor, and then upstairs was fully built out as a corporate headquarters. Mm-hmm. The corporate headquarters has recently become available, and it is an absolutely unique space. From an open floor plan to individual offices, conference rooms, shared spaces. So if anybody is looking and thinking about expanding their offerings or their headquarters location, I would certainly challenge you to consider that space, and would love to talk to you about that space.
Ton of opportunity there, and that was really built out well up there, like you said, and that could be one company, or I guess it could be
or multiple,
10 or whatever, in some shared workspace up there. So all that's wonderful. Will, we need to take one more commercial break, and when we get back, we'll wrap up.
This Alkyd primer is the go-to for all your exterior wood projects. Its oil-based formula penetrates for maximum adhesion, even on weathered surfaces. It seals uniformly and also provides excellent stain blocking, making it ideal for tannin-rich woods such as cedar and redwood. If you want a long-lasting premium finish on your exterior wood projects, start with Fresh Start Deck and Siding Primer.
Quality products and installation since 1985. That's 4 Seasons.
First Lawrence Bank invites you to experience banking at its best. Whether you have personal or business needs, we're a full-service bank big enough to handle all of your banking needs and small enough to provide you with that personal touch you've grown to expect from a community bank like First Lawrence Bank. Looking forward to your future. That's First Lawrence Bank in Dublin and Dexter. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to the show again. Will, we're about to wrap up. Got a few more really important things we want to talk about. So maybe somebody's watching the show today, and whether it be commercial or residential, okay, I'm ready. I think I'm ready. I think I want to buy something. What are some of the most important things you could tell me as a potential interested buyer?
Absolutely. I'll do it two different ways. So
Okay.
one is a buyer, one is a renter.
Okay.
So as a buyer, you need to have your credit checked and your underwriting started at a local bank.
Okay.
And we recommend our local banks because they are so easy to work with. They take a personal approach, and they really set the limit of what property that you need to be looking for. So you might be thinking that you want to buy a property with this price point, but a bank may say, well, you're approved for a little bit higher, or no, you need to be looking a little bit lower based on some other outstanding debts that you may have or credit scores. And then it's getting with...
So do that first
Yes.
before they come to see you.
That kind of sets your parameters on
Okay.
what kind of properties we're going to be looking at. The worst thing that we can do is show you a whole bunch of properties that you can't
afford.
qualify for. And at the end of the day, that's really what matters, is what a bank will approve and what you can get your financing for. On a rental standpoint, completing the application and really paying attention to your credit score and getting some of those things worked out so that your credit score is of a quality that signifies to a landlord that you have the ability to pay your monthly rental obligation. And the other is income verification and turning in your income, completing your references, and making sure that process is complete and smooth. The outside of that is having good communication with your landlord or with your specialist who you're dealing with. Making sure that we have all the right facts and we have a good track record of communication throughout the relationship, because it is a relationship.
Okay, and Will, for somebody that doesn't know, what level credit score are you looking at to tell somebody, hey, if you're at this level, maybe you're in danger and you really need to pay attention to your credit score if you're going to rent or try to purchase?
600
is the
credit
number.
score
Okay.
is about the floor that we look at. We love to see that number up higher. And then rental affordability, your take-home pay needs to be about 3 times higher than what your monthly rent is. So that's kind of the rubric that we look at, just to make sure that things aren't so tight where you have trouble living your basic,
You got to put gas
your
in the
life
car,
and
pay
your
car
basic
insurance,
necessities.
you eat,
right,
things.
provide for
So-
your family and that sort of thing.
So we talked about a lot of different things that you guys are involved in, whether it's commercial, whether it's residential, lots of properties, lots of different work. And I'm just guessing you don't do that all by yourself.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Tell me about your team.
We have a fantastic team that cares about the job that they do, that try to provide the best quality service that they can. We have 3 property specialists on the rental side, a property manager that oversees the department, a transaction coordinator and licensed real estate coordinator on our real estate side, 20 licensed realtors, accounting staff, bookkeeping staff, front desk and reception, and then office admin and operations. So we are a small company. We employ about 20 people. Oh, and our outside maintenance crew.
Well, I was about to say,
I couldn't forget
wait a
our outside
minute,
maintenance
you're
crew.
way over 20.
Yeah, but they are an incredible team to work with. We have fun, we work hard, we expect a lot, and they expect a lot from us. So we could not do what we do without 2 things, and that's the community that we serve and the people that we're able to work with.
Well, thank you because of not just the jobs, but the investment. And I do want to ask you, because one thing we didn't cover real quick before we do close, and another story I'm going to share and just give it, but you guys did it. So when we recreated our annual dinner about 10 years ago, again, your dad was one of the first people that I went to and said, hey, here's the vision, here's kind of what we want to create, and it's going to take some investment. It's going to take some money that maybe people aren't used to investing. Would you be interested in investing in this and helping us grow this? And you guys were the first people ever to step up to say, yes, put us down, and you've been with us from day one on that event. I know you've done St. Patrick's and everything. Tell me just a little bit about your company and how you guys give back and reinvest in the community from that standpoint of volunteerism and investment.
Yeah, well, I think that's really important of being a good corporate sponsor and a good corporate champion of the great things that our community is doing. We've got a ton of different organizations and people that are trying to progress Dublin to provide needs and services to those around the entire whole community. So we do want to take a larger view and say, how can we impact our community? What visions do we align with, and do we think that are pushing the envelope further and higher, and really making Dublin a first-class city, and continuing to make Dublin a first-class city. And I think we're just very fortunate to live in a place where we can have a conversation. I can come over and grab a coffee, and we can talk about what's going on and really strategize and how we can help. Now, obviously, our funds are limited, being a company, and we can't contribute to everything, but we do want to make an impact where we are able.
Yeah,
and,
I was just about to say that, Will, and I was going to say, I know you can't say yes every time to everything, because God, I can imagine the number of requests that you get, but I can say thank you, because you guys do say yes often. And I think you do a good job of saying, okay, here's where we can invest the most, here's where we can get the most bang for our buck and get the return for our community. So we appreciate that. Appreciate you taking your time as always, brother. Spending time with you is a pleasure. And thank you for spending time with us today, helping us make it another great day for business in Dublin and Lawrence County.